PC gaming has always seen some criticism for the quality of its exclusive games. In 2015 though, I felt we had some great PC exclusives, so in this video I'm going to be taking you guys through my top 10 PC exclusives of 2015. Let's get right into this with number 10. Number 10, Total War Attila. The strategy series saw another entry in 2015 in Total War Attila, and it released to mixed opinions. The fact is that Total War Attila is more of an extension to Total War Rome 2, and Rome 2 wasn't the most fondly remembered game in the Total War series. The mechanics in Attila have been refined to deliver more of a complete and diverse experience opposed to that of Rome 2. New fans will find something to like in Total War Attila, but for many they're just gonna stick to some of the other Total War games like Shogun 2. But regardless, Attila offers a well-developed strategy experience that warrants its number 10 spot. Number 9, Kingdom. Kingdom was one of the more unique games of the year. It's a 2D side-scrolling strategy resource management game where you try to sustain a kingdom. It's got a gorgeous pixel art style and one of the best soundtracks of the year. The game does get a bit repetitive at times, but the aesthetics and creativity more than make up for it. Kingdom also does a fantastic job blending all of the various elements in the game and stylistically being incredible. The game is only $10, and if you're into tower defense survival style games, check it out. Number 8, Dirt Rally. Dirt has been one of the racing series that's been criminally underrated. With Dirt Rally, Codemasters have created the best one so far. It's extremely challenging, but the game is very fair, the driving is realistically, and graphically it looks very good. While some of the components of the game aren't as fleshed out as I would have liked, Codemasters has done a good job keeping the game fresh with new challenges, updates, etc. It's not often you see a racing game like this released first on PC, but Dirt Rally manages to not only be one of the best racing games of the year, hell, it's one of the best games in general of the year. Number 7, Killing Floor 2. Killing Floor 2 has been in early access for a while now, so keep in mind there are some issues in the game such as balancing that the developers are still working on, and that hopefully will be fixed by the time the game's ready to be released. However, as someone that thoroughly enjoyed the first Killing Floor game, the sequel is offering me the same type of co-op gameplay but a bit more diverse and engaging. Now, I've heard that some think that Killing Floor 2 caters to too much of a casual audience. However, as far as a game to play with friends and have a fun cooperative experience, I think Killing Floor 2 does it pretty well. Number 6, Squad. Now, it should be mentioned that Squad is also in early access, but realize the fact that it's not even a finished game yet, and it could rank at number 6 on this list probably means it's a pretty good game. I was a big fan of the Arma games. I played Arma 2 constantly, and then when Arma 3 released, I bought that and I played that quite a bit too. I think Squad is a better game in nearly every way over Arma. It's a 50v50 multiplayer first-person shooter, and the goal of the game is to capture the essence of combat through communication and teamwork. Now, the enjoyment of Squad does have a part to do with who you're playing with. If there are people playing the game not using a mic, well, that might hurt your experience. Regardless, if you're playing with some friends or find a game where everyone is using a mic, it's some of the best multiplayer gaming you'll have, and on the plus, the game runs very well. Number 5, Warhammer Endtimes Vermintide. This game is a very interesting one. Take the Warhammer universe, take some Left 4 Dead gameplay, and that's what you have with Endtimes Vermintide. Now, that obviously doesn't tell the whole story, as the mechanics of Endtimes are very robust. The weapons feel very responsive and almost give feedback. There's a diverse roster of heroes and the deep looting system. For $30, Warhammer Endtimes Vermintide is one of the best value purchases of the year. It's mechanically very well developed, and for co-op gaming, I would rank this above Killing Floor 2 by quite a bit, as it is a finished game. If you got some friends to play with and you want a great co-op game, check out Warhammer Endtimes Vermintide. Number 4, Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Coming from someone that isn't the biggest fan of super competitive games anymore, I had my fix of them when I was younger, but at this stage of my life, I'd rather not get too invested into a single game. While StarCraft does have a big emphasis on its multiplayer component, the StarCraft 2 trilogy also offered a stellar campaign with each game building upon each other, and Legacy of the Void acted as a fantastic conclusion to the story. I found myself emotionally invested into the story and characters, and with each iteration of StarCraft 2, I found the gameplay to be getting better and better. The online component is also obviously there, and for those that are a fan of StarCraft, you know what you're getting yourself into. If you've never played StarCraft 2, obviously start from the beginning, then play Heart of the Swarm, and then play Legacy of the Void, and then you can thank me later. Number 3, Cities Skylines. The easiest way to describe Cities Skylines is it's SimCity but done right. What Cities Skylines attempts to do is modernize what made the older SimCities games great, and with that goal in mind, the guys over at Colossal Order created one of the best games of the year. The game isn't perfect and there are small, minute issues, but that's easily made up for by the sheer amount of content and depth that Cities Skylines has, all for half the price of your typical new release. Coupled with the fact that the game has an extensive modding community, there's so much value to get out of Cities Skylines, and for that, Colossal Order and Paradox should be commended. Number 2, Pillars of Eternity. I'm a big fan of RPGs, so it's no surprise that Pillars of Eternity would rank this high. The game was actually help funded via Kickstarter, and typically I would be hesitant with the game being released that way, but Obsidian delivered one of the best classic RPGs ever. This game doesn't revolutionize what games like Baldur's Gate did, rather it modernizes those concepts so anyone can get into the game no problem. But there's also a level of depth to the game and detail to the game that fans of old school games will appreciate. The story, writing, and world building were also some of the best of the year. Yes, to many, the graphics do look a bit dated, but that's not a big deal considering the type of game Pillars of Eternity is. If you're even remotely into RPGs, Pillars of Eternity is a must play, check it out. And finally, number 1, Undertale. Probably the biggest surprise in terms of a game reaching a level of quality that hardly anyone saw coming was Undertale. The game became an instant classic when it was released, and it achieved that by accomplishing a variety of things. The storytelling and writing was the standout to me, as when you start playing the game, there's a charm to it with its comedy and humor, but then by the end of the game, I found myself attached to the world of Undertale. And it's a game that after the ending, it's gonna stick with you for a while. At this point, the majority of you have probably heard about Undertale and how good it is, but if you haven't played it, I implore you, give it a look. And it's not like this game requires a beast of a PC to run, so just about anyone can play it. You have no excuse. So that wraps up my countdown of the top 10 PC exclusives of 2015. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below if you agree with this list, disagree. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.